Hello, and welcome to or back to my channel. I'm Kit, your friendly feminist cat lady spinster, and today we're going to talk about me. A subscriber let me know that RealFemSapien posted a response to me, and I was pretty confused because I couldn't think of anything I had recently posted that would get her attention. As it turns out, it's just a clip from an older video, but I had a few things I wanted to say, and the clip is only 6 minutes. For context, back in June, I did a live stream reacting to RFS's viral TikToks, and she did a reaction stream to my reaction stream. And for whatever reason, she clipped apart and posted it a few weeks ago. And inspired by Noah Samson, I am now going to do a reaction to her reaction to my reaction. Yeah. So let's start with the thumbnail and title, Modern Woman Tries to Wreck Submissive Housewives. What? They look down on women. Yeah, thinking women shouldn't give up their agency is looking down on women, clearly. Anyway, let's have a look at the clip.
The weirdest thing to me is that, someone has made a reaction commentary video to me before, and I just have to accept it. I put things on the internet. It's just how the internet works. You put it out there, it's public. Someone can react to it, comment on it. It does not matter. You just have to accept it. And given how hard she works to build her brand, she is a housewife, but she also does consultations to help you get the man of your dreams for $250. And I think people now are beginning to use housewife in a very different way than it used to mean.
Yes, we are. We are. And I think that's perfectly fine. Talking about women working from home, and everybody wants to comment on that. Well, you don't fully financially depend on your husband. Why is that anyone's business outside of that individual marriage?
So to be clear, if I got married and got a remote job, I would be considered a housewife? Interesting. Anyway, it's no one's business but yours how you conduct your marriage, but if you're going to recommend what you do, whatever that is, for other people, people are going to have opinions.
In the first place. And we're talking about feminism is about choice. Feminism is about autonomy.
No one is saying you can't make the choice to be a housewife or to be submissive, though I will link an article below about the problem with choice feminism. And you absolutely should maintain your autonomy, which is why I don't understand telling women they need to be submissive. This was for a video about the channel, but I'll go ahead and read it here. Do I care if a woman is submissive to her husband? No. I trust people to know their partners. However, if you say that women must, either for biblical or biological reasons, submit to their husbands, then I have a problem. I also have a problem with this version of submission. It's not a bedroom kink, it's not a lifestyle kink, it's a woman making herself as small and subservient as possible because she believes that's what she deserves as a woman. And she might succeed so well in that she might not even believe she deserves rights anymore, which will make it even harder for her to recognize abuse. And even if she does, it will make it even harder for her to go against her husband, whom she believes is above her. Do I think all men are abusive? Of course not. But if a man believes he deserves a woman's subservience because he's a man, I do think it ups the possibility for him to become abusive. Also, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I don't see anything wrong with a woman saying that she is a housewife and then working part-time from Liberty Mutual from home. I don't understand why that's a hard concept for people to process. Do I know legit housewives? Yes. But they still have social media platforms because they believe in their message, at least the ones that I know.
Yeah, I know a lot of housewives with social media platforms as well. And I don't worry as much for them. I worry for the people who internalize their message and don't have platforms or a form of income.
And I've met other housewives in real life. They don't have social media platforms. They don't do the whole social media entrepreneur route. However, some of us feel called to a greater good, And look, the thing about coaching is that you go to the school of hard knocks, you go to the school of life. You can't get a degree in coaching. You can if you would like. And my thing about it is I don't want repeat customers. I want you to learn what you need to learn, and I want you to move on, because I don't know if y'all have figured it out, but I would like to build a family. You can't really do that if I've got 10 clients a day that need me. Where's going to be the time for the babies? Where's going to be the time?
Because, back in my day, a housewife was a woman who was married and stayed home and looked after the family. Like my mother, she did all the cleaning, the cooking, she took my...
Someone just posted this. Women don't have the right to love their husbands according to feminists. That's nonsense. Why would you marry someone you don't love?
Grandmother to her doctor appointments. She took me to my after school activities when I had them. she did not have like her own business. She didn't make money online. Like,
pay attention. This is what I mean by leftist women. Sometimes, especially if they're educated, are coming from two-parent households.
Is she talking about me? Because though I do come from a two-parent household, I don't have a college degree.
Coming from two-parent households, sometimes the mother is a caregiver, yet somehow can't understand that their success is correlated to that statistic. It's like it doesn't process for them. I've ran this experiment on my college campus. I said, hey, if you come from a two-parent household, raise your hand. If your parents are still married, keep your hand up. Congratulations, that's a good deal. That's a good reason why you're in this classroom today. They don't get it.
There's an interesting idea, and to be fair, RFS isn't the only person that has this idea, that if you come from a two-parent household, your life was cake and roses. My father was a carpenter and my mother worked in a factory. We were poor. My parents had me too young, and until I moved out, I wished they would divorce. At one point, things got so bad, my grandmother threatened to take me away. So maybe, just maybe, marriage isn't the cure for everything. And no, I don't hate marriage. I just understand that marriage isn't for everyone and that staying married isn't always the best option.
like Mrs. Midwest and this particular person do. So I'm just not like, the issue that I have with the submissive wives who promote being submissive is not that they're married. I really do not care if someone is married. I'm not married. I know that is my choice. That does not mean I think everybody should not be married. I understand and accept that people will not think the way I do and will not want to live the way I do, which is why I have a problem with Drag because, yeah, they won't just let people live. But anyway, but it's kind of like with the Duggars advocating for people to be quiverful. It's like, it's great that you can support your 19 children, but the people that you're talking to, that you're telling should be quiverful, they don't have that money. And these other...
Pause. The people that I'm telling to be submissive. Also, this is why y'all don't get no love. How are you going to compare my message to the Duggars?
Well, RFS says wives should submit, and the Duggars say the same. Everyone has their own reasoning behind why they believe that or how far they believe submission should go. But for me, anything commanding submission is suspect.
To the Duggars? Where that guy went to jail for child prawn? To the Duggars. That's what we're going to do? Like, what world do they think traditional conservatives live in?
The same one that hired Josh Duggar as an executive director for FCR Action.
What is that? And do you want to know why women can't afford to stay home? It's because nobody talks to them about the dating market ahead of time. We are late to the party. Sometimes women don't wake up until they're 24 years old and they've got 2 kids on their hip from a man they don't care for. That is why I have a specific target demographic. If you're a woman who wants to improve your value anyway, despite some of the mistakes that you've made, amazing, glad you're here, and I hope you stay here. Now, if you are 18 and 19 years old and childless, you're probably the person I'm trying to get to the most. Because what I'm trying to do is reduce the risk of child abuse by half by helping women to get married and stay married. You see the connection here? Like, it's all connected, guys. It's all connected.
A noble goal, though I see her channel banner is now Good Girls Get the Ring.
Other women that don't have channels or large Instagram accounts or whatever, they aren't making their own income. They're telling these women to be submissive. And I mean, hey, maybe this person doesn't say you can't have a job at all, but we'll get into that a bit more later. But when we actually look at the TikTok, but it really bothers me because they're advocating, like, that's what worries me when people say, oh, you should be a submissive wife, because I do question the kind of man that wants a submissive wife. And it just creates such a massive power imbalance, especially if you go with the notion that women should marry between the ages of 18 to 23 and immediately begin having children because, by the time you're 30, you just can't have kids anymore. I just made it through all that because I was not looking at chat. I get it very easy.
So the thing about it is, like, it's not when you're 30 that you can't have kids anymore. It's that when most women wake up, if they ever wake up, it's around 30. And I don't know anyone, most people I know that decide they meet the love of their life. They settle down. Well, women just add more and more time.
So first the concern was women having 2 kids with a man they didn't care for by 24. And now the concern is women adding too much time until they can no longer have kids. Okay.
Right, so you meet the guy when you're 30, you date maybe for a year, maybe 2 years, you get engaged, because women are scared of like quick engagements as well these days.
Google is telling me 12 to 18 months is the average length of an engagement, which makes sense to me because I'm pretty sure it takes time to plan a wedding.
So what, like you're 32, amazing. Then you've been married for a year. Now you were 33. Now you're trying to have babies. You guys getting it? It's not that women, their fertility clock is like so short. It's just like women that are getting married at 30. Like, what is it? In the UK, 50.1% of women are childless by age 30. Like, that's a legitimate problem.
Are we talking about the NHS study again? The study concluded with, the percentage of women who remained childless in 2020 by the end of their childbearing years has remained fairly consistent since the late 1950s, with 18.1% of the latest cohort born in 1975 having no children. This suggests that women are delaying childbearing rather than not having children. And if people do start having fewer children, that's a personal decision. And if you're going to whinge at me about the economy, save it. If capitalism is so great, it'll adapt. My heart doesn't bleed for corporations in need of low-wage workers.
But the thing about it is that Malthusians, people that think that the world has finite resources, and that's true. They don't think that human behavior is going to adapt to the resource availability. They think that we're just going to gobble it all up. Like, naturally, if resources aren't available, human reproduction is probably going to shift, alter, reduce. People will use birth control. Like, they not getting it, guys. They not getting it.
I think it'd be great to not get to the point where we have to seriously worry if we're overpopulated, but that's just me. Let's look at some of the comments. Since they can't do it, they're projecting the self-righteous, rude, and cold labels onto you due to their own feelings of being inferior. As far as I've seen, you have not been rude or snobby to women who aren't or can't be housewives. People hate having to look in the mirror at themselves, and they're just avoiding accountability for their own lives by placing blame on you, a stranger to them. Since we can't do what? And also, that was her own commenter asking why some trad wives came off that way, not me. She has a cat, that's all we need to know. I was just about to say this. I'm surprised she doesn't have pink or blue hair. She looks like a young version of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Well, for a brief period of time, I did have teal and purple streaks in my hair. But what is it with these folks being so concerned about Jewish people? Marriage was her choice? I know, right? Who can believe it? I think it is related to lack of exercise and or lack of having done any manual labor in their life. I would agree that they have not done real work on the land, but also no service to others, real service, to those less fortunate. You don't spout this crap when you see how the majority of folks live day to day. That's some assumptions. Where do you get off claiming I don't see how the majority of folks are living? And why do you think believing women shouldn't be subservient to men is crap? This is why she has cats instead of a husband and kids. If a man came up to me and said, I'll marry you, but you have to submit to me, why would I do that? I'm sure it's just me, but what is the point of a 30, 40, 50-year-old single woman with no kids? Almost none of them can make enough to retire, so net of everything, they will consume more than they produce over their lifetime. I'm a small L libertarian, so do whatever you want, but I just wonder about how women like this usually also advocate for socialism. They obviously don't know what happens to useless people in collectivist, totalitarian states. Meh, whatever. I'm sure it's just me, but I want to know, what is the point of this question? And what would you propose be done with these single women with no kids after the age of 30? Please, do tell. I'm very curious to know. So her mother had the freedom to do all these things because her dad made it possible. She has a lot of mental issues to deal with and resolve. It's sad that her mother didn't show her how wonderful and gratifying it was to be home for her kids, which this lady will not get to experience. Very sad. I have mental issues because I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom? That's interesting. I think people are imagining my mom as some sort of 1950s housewife or something, and that's so far from the truth it can't even see the truth. And no, I don't hate stay-at-home mothers. If you, and by you I mean anyone, can afford to stay home and your partner agrees, that's great. Anyway, that's it for this video. I would like to thank my patron, and if you would like to join my Patreon, it is linked in the description box below along with my socials. I'm Candidly Kit everywhere. If you enjoyed this video, please like, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you are subscribed, I'm so glad you're here, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and fade to cats.